Mr. Mukunda, you interacted with the Kasturi Rangan committee that was set up to suggest a suitable governance structure for BBMP. What were your main demands? Were your demands accepted and included in the report?
Our main demands were that proper budgetary allocations had to be made to see that the improvements required for a vast area which was supposed to be included. Remember, BMP had hardly an area of 225 square kilometers, and according to the suggestions of Kasturi Rangan committee, it was to be increased to 850 square kilometers. That is what is the area of Bangalore today. So when you increase the area 4 times, the budgetary allocation should be more from the state government. And we also pointed out that Bangalore contributes almost 60,000 crores of revenue in terms of taxes to the state government and the central government. Our request was just to devolve at least 10% of this, around 6,000 crores to BBMP. Then they can definitely give all kinds of facilities and improve the infrastructure. Number 2, in terms of water sources. That's also a very essential and very basic requirement. All citizens of Bangalore should have access to clean drinking water on a 24/7 basis. That should be the basic policy. And in terms of connectivity, in terms of good roads, then transport system, a multimodal transport system instead of our dependence at that time only on bus transport. Now at least the metro is taking shape, and again we have to go in for mono and other things even now, so that ultimately there will be a combination and a mix of modes of transport available to the citizen to make his life that much easier, and the dependence on private transport is reduced. That is a very important thing. And implementation of bylaws properly by BBMP to see that the basement parking is always reserved for parking and not for commercial complexes and things like that. And one of the most important demands we made from the committee was that whatever suggestions we are giving should be considered, and the reasons for rejecting them should be made public. Because the very objective of holding a public hearing is to receive the suggestions and objections from the public. And in case you are unable to accept certain suggestions, it may happen, maybe technical constraints, financial constraints and things like that, you should be in a position to make the reason public so that it is available in the public domain and people know why your suggestion has been rejected. That is one thing which they have not done so far. In fact, during the meeting, they themselves flatly said that it is not possible to do that. And lastly, one of the major grouses was that the committee did not consist of any expert in urban planning. Dr. Kasturi Rangan is an eminent scientist. He has done wonderful work in science and technology, but his expertise and the expertise of his fellow members within the committee, as far as urban design and urban requirements are considered, was definitely not up to the requirement.
Mr. Mukunda, in contrast, Abide Task Force set up by the government also came out with a comprehensive blueprint called Plan Bengaluru 2020 to solve the city's problems, and also suggested governance reforms. And Abide Task Force had lots of experts, all the experts in the areas you mentioned. Like your forum, the task force also advocated citizen participation, but it is yet to get legislature's approval. What do you have to say about this report? And
basically, we have a feeling after almost a decade experience in insisting upon citizen participation to make our democracy more participative than representative as it is at present, is that the political class in the heart of their hearts are not for citizen participation. They have a feeling and a belief that with more and more citizens participating actually in the planning process, their scope becomes limited. Their areas of influence becomes restricted. And that is one of the reasons why officially they have not been able to implement any of the suggestions regarding citizen participation, be it by Abide or by organizations like CAF or by any other citizen groups. This is basically the problem. But finally, I think the time for citizen participation has come, and whether they like it or not, they will have to accept that and implement it, because that is the only way out for our country.
Mr. Mukunda, both Kasturirangan as well as Abide, both have suggested longer term for mayor. What is your opinion about it?
Sir, if the mayor is going to be elected directly by the people,
Yes.
number one. Number two, if the mayor is going to have a lot of authority and have a lot of, the necessary budget under his control, then a long-term mayor is going to be of some benefit. Otherwise, it is going to be only a cosmetic change.
No, they have suggested a mayor who should be accountable for everything that happens in Bangalore.
Accountability without authority is not
With
right.
authority. Accountability
With authority in the sense that he must have enough financial
Yes.
clout and strength. Then it is okay. Then it is
He will
required.
be some kind of a chief minister for Bangalore
Right,
or
but,
CEO for Bangalore.
but the financial devolution from the state government level to the local government has to take place effectively to make the job of the mayor easier. If he has got good plans, it should be easier for him to implement it. Finance should not become a constraint. That is very important. Without that being mandated, it is going to be a cosmetic change.
So he should be given responsibility, should given the powers,
Yeah,
and then he should be held accountable.
yeah.
This is what you
Sure,
want.
sure.
Mr. Mukunda, what does your forum propose to do to ensure that the suggestions by forums like yours or those of task forces like Abide or Kasturirangan Committee are implemented by the government? Because you people keep giving good suggestions, they are deaf to it or blind to it. How do you propose to make them implemented?
I think the only way out for the government is to make a law which makes citizen participation at the planning level compulsory. In the 74th Amendment to the Constitution of India, they have proposed the appointment of a Metropolitan Planning Council, which is not sufficient today. Probably in 94 when it was passed, it was okay. But in today's circumstances, I don't think that is going to even touch the problem at the fringes. It will only be scratching the surface. The right thing to do is to see that citizens have a mandated right which nobody can take it away from them and nobody can question, to get involved in the planning process. How it should be done is a matter for debate, and probably a large group will have to sit together and come out with suggestions. There may be so many iterations of the required shape that it has to take, but it has to be done. Once that is done, because today what has happened, Mr. Balram, is that the bureaucrat is not at all accountable to anybody. At least the politician on paper is accountable to the people, because once in 5 years is to go and face the electorate. But the bureaucrat is not at all accountable to anybody. But once you make citizen participation compulsory and holding a public hearings for matters of, for important matters costing beyond a certain cutoff level, where the bureaucrat is supposed to submit his plan and then also explain why some suggestions and objections cannot be accepted and should be made available in the public domain. If that is adopted, then the bureaucrat will be much more careful while formulating the plan. Now, the case is not like that. That is a basic problem here. And unfortunately, our politicians are not qualified enough to understand the intricacies, the technical, financial, and managerial intricacies of a project, because the size of the projects are huge, which most of the, I'm not saying every politician, but most of the politicians do not understand, and they got a pathetic dependence upon the bureaucrats, and they are in turn taking advantage of the situation.